the bits to come in. Oh, yeah, there they go. We got the best bits, Lewis. There's no denying that. You think that the Vergecast's bits are this good? Get out of my face. And we're live. God, you know what? I'm so happy that El Caney is not here to complain about my boom. I mean, let's be honest. He's probably deceased at this moment, which is a major bummer.
Jeez, it's a little rough.
I just never know how long he's actually going to make it. I just feel like with the amount of partying that guy does, he just doesn't have a whole lot of time left with us. You know what I'm saying, Lewis? It's only a matter of time.
Gee whiz.
I know.
I know that his wife was ill all weekend, and
she was.
Yeah, so I think she went and got the test.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think he
okay.
has. I don't think he's got the virus that we all don't want. It doesn't sound like that. I heard there was some monster cold going around now. Ironically, because everyone has been so distanced and wearing masks and stuff, that everyone has probably like lost their immunity to more common illnesses. And I heard there was some like super cold going around that has landed some people, at the doctor's office, even in the ER.
It's a coronavirus.
It technically it is a coronavirus. It's not the, but it is one of them, isn't it? Isn't that wild?
That's why we've had them forever.
They've been around for so long.
Stupid viruses.
So many viruses. They're all trying to get us too, and especially LK. they're gunning for him. Shout out to Zach Hicks, who's here. Welcome, Captain Hicks is here. Todd Ellis. Hey, Zach. Oh, cool. We're here too. We're here too, guys. Ronald Hudson. The boys are back. That's right. Barry Rose. Have you got your MacBook Pro yet? No, not yet. I'm waiting for the new year, and it's going to be a hard decision because there's a story that we will see the iMacs and the iMac Pro be updated or released in spring. So I'm like, man, that's not that far away. It's like, do I wait till spring? But it could be at the end of spring, which would be 6 months from now. So I'll probably end up with the MacBook Pro. I don't think I have the willpower to wait that long. And then, because I really want the 10G Ethernet, but what I realize is I can get a dock or I can get an adapter, which I really don't want to do, and get 10G for the MacBook Pro. So, but if they released an iMac Pro with the M1 Max Duo and 10G, and I'm sitting here with a MacBook Pro, I'm gonna cry. That's gonna be very disappointing for me. Adam Broussard says, "Dang, I'm late." Well, you haven't missed much. Jordan says, "I literally have a cold from my son in daycare." Oh, Petri dish. Yeah, I know how that goes, dude. Mark Lapointe says, "Hi." And Eric Peter Carlson, the man with 3 names, finally picked up AirPods Max. You love it, huh? God, man, not to get off topic here, Lewis. I really
So
just
soon.
I don't know. I know we should change this name to CultCast Off Topic because it always is, right? I already have a CultCast Off Topic, but this is more off topic than the other show. You have AirPods Max, right?
No.
You never got them? I
honestly, I reviewed them, but they were not mine.
I'm glad that they
them at the end of the review period.
I'm glad that they dropped in price. They're definitely not worth $550.
Nothing is.
Yeah, few things are. Some things are. Some things are,
God,
but a lot of things are not.
A car is.
Yeah.
Headphones.
A nice vaporizer with rainbow LEDs or something, but yeah, the AirPods Max, man, they don't sound. The price doesn't match their sound quality, and it's not because the hardware is not capable of doing what you would expect them to do. It's because the services aren't capable of providing you what you need. And so the only way to get the most out of them is to use Apple Music. And if you don't use Apple Music, it's really just not worth it, in my opinion. Honestly, like mine just sit on the shelf a lot, and it's kind of a bummer for having spent that much money.
You want to sell them? Steep discount?
I have thought about selling them. Yeah, I have thought about selling them. Especially because AirPods Max 2 are probably going to be out. Actually, who knows when that will be. But
or they could just be discontinued.
They might be discontinued. I mean, the other thing, too, is the fact that they use Bluetooth to connect. And I brought this up right when the AirPods Max release. I'm like, you have a pair of they're being marketed as a pair of hi-fi headphones. We should be talking about this in the Gear of the Year, but I guess this doesn't really fit in there. And then they use Bluetooth, which is not a high fidelity connection. And that really is baffling to me. I really don't understand that logic. Why didn't they connect using Wi-Fi or something that could actually transmit more information? It's truly a mystery to me. Adam Broussard says, "I'll buy yours for $100. I'll give you something for $100.
120.
120. Okay, 120. 130. 140. 150. All right, guys. Well, LK's not here. Look. No, I'm looking at our concurrent viewers. I should have picked a better show title, Lewis. Oh, but you know what? You want to tweet.
Tweet.
There it is. Boom. Tweeted. iPhone 14 with 8K video. I thought this was an exciting story, but you know what? It's the week before Christmas. There's nothing. I was hoping that we can win people over based on our charm and great jokes, but Jordan says, I find the AirPods Max worth it just for the comfort. Sound to me is excellent, but I wear them all day without any strain on my ears sweating. Yeah, well, if you wear them all day, I mean, I know people who do that. I don't do that. I don't wear them on my head all day. And honestly, I don't even know if I could. They are kind of heavy for all day use. I have the, I always forget the name of them, like the Sony WMX4s or something. It's the Sony equivalent.
Consonant number.
Yeah, I should know this, but it's been a while since I've actually worn them. I have the equivalent Sony models, and they're cheaper. They sound nowhere near as good. No, and the transparency mode on the Sonys is outrageously bad. But
Really?
But they are very comfortable, I have to say. More comfortable than the AirPods Max. That's the only thing that where they win. Alrighty, well.
Now you're making me wish I had a pair.
Well, maybe we can work something out. I've got a pair sitting here. Every once in a while I just plug them in to make sure they're charged, and they are cool for wearing when you're watching movies with the 4K Apple TV because
and you don't want to be bothered at all. You just want to be in a little cocoon.
Yeah, but I don't ever get to watch movies when anyone's up anyway, so I don't really. And I have my HomePods. I don't really need to wear the AirPods Max while watching movies if I want like the great virtualized surround sound experience. And I don't need a cocoon because I'm unable to watch content unless no one's home or everyone's asleep anyway. But so maybe they're just not made for me. But
right.
But for the price, I really just was expecting more. They're not nearly as magical. Like my HomePods, which were about the same price, I got them on sale. But those are for the price, the performance, and the price point. Those are one of the best investments I've ever made. Magical sound, so useful, and of course they just have that really beautiful sound signature that we've talked about so many times here on the show.
Have you heard about the popping of death?
Somebody pinged me on Twitter about HomePod popping.
Yeah.
And I have heard it. I have heard it happen a few times, but it's very quiet.
Really? You've heard it on yours?
Yeah, it happens.
Ooh,
regularly.
That's supposed to be a really bad sign.
Really?
Just think about what happens, man, when they finally.
I know. That's going to be so sad, especially if only one pops.
Yeah.
Because I think it's only.
And then you'll just have the one subpar single HomePod experience.
Yeah, which at that point I think I would bail out. There's no point in having it at that point. One is not nearly good enough. You got to have the stereo mode HomePods. So for this, I know we're supposed to get started officially here, but for this for the HomePod issue, I heard that it's just like a popping noise. Does that lead up to an imminent death? Is that the problem?
That's what I've read. A couple isolated reports. I mean, but it sounds like it's kind of widespread.
Oh man,
it made me start wondering, like, what's the lifespan on these things? I mean,
well, they
my
should
AirPods
be,
just
forever.
Went dead the other day.
Yeah,
they should be, but they're not gonna be. And I was so frustrated. One of the AirPods quit working. One of the Gen 2, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. The case blinks green, flashes green, and like there's all these threads online like that talk. I mean, there's Apple support documents that talk about everything but that. And there are other people saying, "What does this mean?" Nobody can figure out what it means exactly. It seems like just one of the AirPods went dead. Won't charge, fried out. Don't know if maybe they got like out of whack. Somehow one part got
Maybe it got wet.
updated firmware or something, huh?
Maybe one got wet. Because the same thing happened to my wife's AirPods, but that's because our daughter put one of them in her mouth and sucked on it twice.
Oh, well, that's not what happened.
So did anyone, have you spoken to your wife perhaps? Like maybe she decided to.
She dropped it in a martini or something. Yeah,
She didn't have her glasses on and she accidentally grabbed your AirPods and put them into her martini.
I felt so stupid too because like the whole weekend I was looking at those AirPods. They were down to like $130 for the 3rd gen, and I was this close to buying them.
Oh, dude,
just because I want to get them. And then like the morning I woke up and the AirPod was dead. I went in the sales back to only $149. It's like, well,
was that at Costco? Did you say?
off the all-time low. I can't possibly spend that much money.
Did you say that was at Costco?
No, it was just online at Amazon.
Oh, okay, because Costco had the same deal. They were selling the 3rd gen AirPods for $139.99, which was a great. I almost tweeted about it. I was like, but people are going to think I'm shilling, like making a profit off this. I'm like, I'll just leave it alone. But that was a crazy price. I mean, with tax, that's like $153. That's less than I paid. And I had a dear friend get me their Apple discount on the AirPods.
They've still got them.
How much?
They've still got them.
They're
$139.99. Through 12/20. You've got 4 days.
You're kidding. For the AirPods 3 on Amazon?
AirPods 3. Yep.
I'm looking this up right now.
Free shipping and handling.
I can't believe that, dude.
Here's the thing you want to know for sure. While supplies last. Estimated delivery Friday, December 24.
Wow.
Get your orders in
okay,
today.
Here you go.
Christmas.
Here you go. Okay, tell you what. Let's start the show, and then we'll come back to this, and we can talk about it a little bit more. So let's cue up Mrs. You Know Who, because she's got to get us going here.
I'm gonna place my order while I do.
Yeah, you should do that. Hello. Where's that delicious little El Caney? Oh, I want to get my oven mitts on his derriere. Oh my goodness. Mrs. D, well, he's not here.
Spicy.
He's not here. And I regret to inform you that may not ever be possible because he might be a goner. We're rooting for him. I'm praying for him, but you know what? He's really sick. And it's not with the thing that we all don't want. It's something else, but he said this morning he's not feeling good, and I said, I'm like, please don't die on us, Leander. Please fight. You got to fight. We need you on the show. We're lost without you. Our concurrent viewers will drop 50%. You know how long it would take for us to make that up, Lewis, without Leander? So, anyway, Mrs. D, whenever you're ready, get those oven mitts off, and let's get this show going because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay. So here we go. It's so stupid. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Aaron Eliza. Joining me today. In the blogosphere, he's known as the toughest managing editor in the biz, but I think he's softening up, honestly. For Christmas this year, he's going to crack the curtains and give the writers in the cage an extra 30 minutes of sunlight. Oh, boy. And if they keep their typing speeds above 200 words per minute, he said he might even ditch the bucket and install one of those metal prison toilets for them. Merry Christmas. He's the managing editor of Cult America. Lewis Walls is here.
Aircraft grade
aluminium. Imagine that. Being able to sit on the crown and not have to go in that Home Depot bucket you got him with the seat installed at the top. I think their words are gonna be cranking out this holiday season.
It's all about motivation.
That's the key. That is what separates you from all the rest, Lewis. You know how to motivate people. That is one thing that is true about you. Welcome, everyone. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about this week, believe it or not. Okay, look, maybe that was me overemphasizing a little bit. There's stuff to talk about this week. It's the week before Christmas, and as you can imagine, the Apple news is sparse, but hot off the press. We have got to talk about this. In the pre-show, we were just talking about this, and this is worth mentioning. Now, this is not me shilling for dollars here. This is a really great deal, and Lewis just took advantage of this deal. We were talking about AirPods 3 and how really it's one of my favorite products of the year. Like the AirPods 3, I won't go into the whole spiel, but they're the best the AirPods have ever been. And what's the original price on them, Lewis? Is it $179?
It's $179.
That's what I thought, $179. And so I was able to get a deal from one of our beloved listeners, a dear friend who works for Apple, and he got me his Apple discount. So I got mine for $160, including tax, right? So that's probably like, I don't know, 145 or something, 146, right, plus tax. But this holiday season, there's this huge warehouse that we have here called Costco. They might have them in the UK as well. I'm not sure. But they sell everything at a discount. You pay a membership fee, and then they sell you stuff at a discount. And they were selling the AirPods 3 for $139.99. I was like, wow, that is an insane deal. I can't believe how fast that those went on sale. But then the deal expired, and we just found out that the deal is going on Amazon right now.
No. No,
Yeah.
Costco.
No, it's on Amazon too, Lewis.
Is it?
Yes, it's on Amazon right this very moment.
Really?
So
the last time I checked, it was 20.
Okay, so you were talking about Costco. So I checked the day before yesterday, and that deal had ended. So I bet you it just reactivated on that deal, and now Amazon does this all the time. They matched it, right? So you can get it from Amazon and you can get it from Costco. I would go Costco personally. But
why?
Well, because usually they give you a longer warranty.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah. Like on their stuff, it's almost always a 2-year warranty. So I would check into that. But if you want to get it from Amazon, they're $139.99 right now. That is a crazy deal. Now they'll get to you after Christmas, but
I'm glad that's back,
dude. That's
because I missed it this weekend and it disappeared, and I felt like so ripped off because I didn't save the extra $10. Now it's back,
dude. That's crazy because we were literally just talking about this before the show, and Lewis was actually sad about having missed this deal, and this is oh, not AirPods Pro. Whoops. No, you don't want the AirPods Pro, honestly. Go AirPods 3. And it's not even going to show me the oh, you know what? It's not showing me the Costco deal. It's only showing me AirPods.
I see Costco, AirPods, 3rd generation.
There it is.
Free shipping, and it says that they will get to San Francisco. If you order them today, be here by December 23rd. I noticed that the Amazon special says if you order it, it'll get there, like after Christmas. So there's something to think about. If you're, looking to buy a gift, Costco might be the only way to get it at that super, super, super low price in time. But either way, those prices, I mean, you almost never see that good of a price on these things, right? I mean, I was actually shocked when I saw it over the weekend, and I almost bought it just because it's like, so cheap. But then, like I was telling our friend before the show, then my AirPods 2 crapped out over the weekend, and I went to buy them, and they'd gone up, and then I felt ripped off.
And of course, you're not going to replace one. It's totally not worth it. You should You have been waiting for a reason to need these, and this is serendipity. This is the moment you've been waiting for. So you can get 2 pairs at Costco. It looks like this deal is going through 12/20, and I'm going to guess that Amazon is going to match this through 12/20 until they run out of stock, which I'm going to guess is going to be sooner than 12/20. So you can get it at either Amazon or at Costco, and this is such an easy recommend. This was one of our picks for Gear of the Year. This is like, I think, part 1. This is one of our picks because these are the best the AirPods have ever been. If AirPods fit your ear holes like they do with me, like the sound quality on these is so much better. The spatial audio on these is like eerily good, and then you get your situational awareness that you don't get with the original AirPods. Plus, you get the magnetic MagSafe charging case. I mean, I could go on and on. They're such a great product. So there you go.
I've been using the AirPods Pro since the regular AirPods 2 crapped out. I really don't like them as much as the AirPods for daily use, walking around my house, listening to a podcast, taking phone calls. I feel too walled off. Kind of like what we're talking about with the AirPods Max. It's like too much of a cocoon. It's too, and plus I don't know. It just doesn't feel as good like having that thing jammed firmly in your ear, right? I mean, even if it's not like literally uncomfortable, it's just a weird feeling having an ear kind of stuffed up,
Yeah. I don't want a stuffed up ear. I can do it in small. I can do it in small spurts, but I don't want my ears being stuffed all day. So I'm with you, man. You just said you said literally everything that I've been saying for like the last 2 years.
It's the reason. Repeat bot.
And like I said, this is just more evidence that you are actually a cyborg, created by El Caney while he was 3 or 4. puffs into a Saturday excursion in his lab in his garage. Alrighty, so there you go. Actually, if you think about it, LK is a lot like Morty from Rick and Morty.
I have never watched that
You
show.
haven't? Yeah. Except for the high IQ part, but all the other parts are true. All right, guys, we got a lot of great stuff to talk about this week. Before we dive into all the other stuff, let me give a very hearty thank you to Squarespace for supporting this episode. Squarespace.com/CultCast. And it's almost 2022. Can you believe it, Lewis? We made it. 2022.
We haven't made it just yet, but
We're not there
getting
yet.
close.
I don't want to get presumptuous. The aliens might still land at any moment. And if you are going to be starting a business, maybe you're going to be having a bat mitzvah. Maybe you're going to be getting married. Maybe you are going to be graduating. There's so many reasons to build a website. And it's tough to do if you don't know how to code, which is what makes Squarespace magical. Is you just go in there, you select one of their beautiful templates, and you configure it. Everything is drag and drop. Their back end is really beautiful and easy to use. You can add your social media. You can add videos. You can add image galleries. You could create a store. You can create a blog. You can create a one-page website that just highlights you and your skill set. There's so many different kinds of websites that you can build. They're easy to build. They're easy to maintain. They're so easy to maintain that you'll actually maintain them by yourself. You won't have to hire anyone. But if you want to bring in collaborators, you can do that too. I just think they're great, and they're really easy to recommend. And if you're planning on building a website, go check them out, squarespace.com/cultcast, and you can get signed up for a free trial. They just need your email address and nothing else. And build a website, see how you like it. And if you like what you have at the end of the trial, you can use code CultCast at checkout. You'll save 10% off your first purchase. And if you could do a year of service, which is what I do, you get an additional discount and a free domain name at squarespace.com/CultCast. Now, Lewis.
Did I hear you right? Did you say they have a really beautiful back end?
I knew you were snickering about something. And you know what? I know you picked up on that because you're a big fan of those, aren't you?
Wow.
Big Sir Mix-a-Lot fan over here. Let's just put it that way. Big Sir Mix-a-Lot fan.
Baby's got drag and drop.
Beautiful back end. That should be Squarespace's new theme song. They should collaborate with Sir Mix-a-Lot. Baby's got beautiful back end, and they could show like their back end system. You know, just an idea. All right, guys, let's dive into this week's stories.
Let's not rush into anything.
I feel like we've pseudo started the show about 6 times, and then I say, let's jump into the show, and we've been doing the show for like an hour. So first off, who's taking this one? Is this you, Lewis?
I don't know. First you said me, and then you said you, and now it still says me. So I don't know. Is it me or you?
No. This is you. This
Flip
is
ya.
you. Let's talk
Flip ya.
about iPhone 14 and the new camera that might be incoming, including potential 8K video. Finally, 8K. Take it away, Lewis.
Yeah, so the headline is the iPhone 14 Pro could pack a 48 megapixel camera and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So, this is hardly shocking that camera updates could again be a big reason to upgrade to the newest iPhone lineup next year, with Apple expected to pack in new 48 megapixel sensors, which would be the biggest to date in the iPhone 14 Pro models. Not the regular ones. You're going to have to pay extra for this. Sensors would enable 8K video recording on iPhone for the first time, as well as provide greater augmented reality experiences and, supposedly 8 gigabytes of RAM too, which never hurts. Earlier rumors predicted iPhone 14 would deliver a major design overhaul inspired by iPhone 4. I hope it comes with those camera bumps just flat with the case. That's what I want. Man. If they make that happen, I'm gonna be so excited.
I'm gonna be looking for the render while you're going over this, because that's what we saw in that John Prosser render. Now, who knows if that's actually what we'll end up seeing, but that was a really beautiful design. And if you remember my conspiracy theory, that they made this year's camera bumps extra juicy, so that it's more of a dramatic change when they encase them entirely in the actual phone case next year.
Had a whole year to be completely annoyed by your phone sitting and wobbling on the desk when you set it down on its back,
and
right?
not fitting on your MagSafe Duo charger.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see. It's also expected to bring the iPhone's first hole punch display, bye-bye notch, which actually seems a little bit odd since they just added the notch to the MacBook, but whatever. I thought they were going all in on notch. I think there's going to be notch on everything. I'm looking for a notch on Apple Watch. Also, this is another great rumor that I hope comes through. Long-awaited display embedded Touch ID. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, that's one of my most requested features, honestly. Can you see this, Lewis? Are you looking at the stream? It's going to take a second or two for it to appear for you. But it looks like so this is the John Prosser render, renders by Ian Zelbo. This was back from September, right? From right before the iPhone 13 was getting ready to launch, and John dropped this. Now, who knows if this will actually be it? But you can see the camera lenses have been recessed inside the body. That if they were actually able to accomplish that, then I'm self-confirming that my conspiracy theory was actually true. They made them bigger.
I can't even imagine why they couldn't do that. I mean, for what reason would they not?
Inside the phone. I mean, they probably just don't have space.
Just make the phone a little thicker. Nobody cares.
You know what? I mean, that wouldn't just be a little bit thicker, though. I mean, you got to think. So let's go back to
what is that like? I guess it is.
Okay, because like
maybe it's
look
a quarter inch thicker.
yeah, because you got to think like there's that glass plate that's underneath the lenses, and they put that in there as a way to obscure how big the lenses actually are.
It's like pyramids on top of a hillside.
Yeah, that hillside is there so that it tricks you into thinking that the camera humps are actually smaller. So that'd be a lot of thickness. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I don't know how many millimeters that is because I'm American, but it looks like a lot of millimeters. I'm gonna guess at least 17. 17 millimeters right there. So anything else to this story, Lewis?
Let's see. Okay. So that 48 megapixel camera rumor that comes from a Haitong International Securities analyst, Jeff Pu. Pu? I don't know how to pronounce Pu. Is it really Pu? Start going full Beavis and Butthead. He said Pooh. Cameras are expected to work alongside upgraded 12 megapixel ultra wide and telephoto lenses, and as we said earlier, exclusive to Pro devices. And this corroborates earlier reports from the well-known TF International Securities analyst Ming-Chi Kuo.
Yeah. So here's the thing that I thought was really fascinating about this story. Maybe not fascinating, but interesting, is 8K video. So the thing, it's so crazy, man. It's like, so I just got like this 4K TV, and I've waited years, as you know, to get a 4K TV because there was just no point. There was just no point in getting a 4K TV. There was no 4K content out there unless you wanted to start rebuying your entire movie collection. And now there's a lot more, even though even now there's not as much as I thought there was. Like I was thinking that all the movies in HBO were 4K, or a majority of them. None of them are. They're all 1080p. It's almost 2022. Don't get me started on that. So I have this 4K TV that has probably 30% of the content I watch is actually 4K. And I got the LG C1, which, wow. I'll probably talk about that here later in the show. We're doing an all new Gear of the Year. Gear of the Year. So we'll talk about that. But they sell 8K televisions. And I'm thinking to myself, what is the point of an 8K television? You can't, there's literally no hard T, literally no 8K content out there. There might be like a couple of MKB HD videos on YouTube that are 8K, but they're going to be compressed as heck. So what's the purpose of 8K? Well, if Apple includes 8K in the iPhone, you'll be able to record, 2 to 3 minutes of 8K on your 256 gigabyte iPhone. That'd be cool. And then you'll have to buy an all new 8K Apple TV, which leads me to think if they do release an 8K video in the iPhone, would they be able to enable 8K streaming on the Apple TV 4K, the new one? Because if you think about it, it's got the A12 Bionic chip in it, doesn't it? And that chip is pretty overpowered for what you're doing on the Apple TV, and the previous Apple TV was also 4K. So what makes this new one special? It seems like it's very close in features to the old one, and maybe they could just switch on 8K when it's ready. I don't know if they could do that, or if you'd have to rebuy an 8K Apple TV.
Rebuy. Let's just
Probably
buy
rebuy.
I mean, you think they would switch it on if 4K is right in the name? Come on, that's a $150 upgrade.
Yeah, you're right. It's $150 just change the name. I mean, maybe if you pay them $150, they'll change the name for you and activate the feature. But then you would actually have 8K content to watch on those 8K televisions, which would be cool. And I mean, it would be a noteworthy feature to have 8K, even though right now it's complete and utter gimmick. I mean, 8K, there is no such thing as 8K. People talk about it, you hear whispers about it, and like you may hear like something outside your house. You're like, is that 8K out there? And you look out there, there's nothing there. You're like, I thought I heard a noise. Maybe it's 8K, but there is no 8K. There's barely any 4K. So there you go. Think how insane it would be if we got the Ian's elbow render right here, and then you got 8K video and under the screen Touch ID. That would be an absolutely bonkers update for iPhone 14. But alas, we're many months away from this, so we'll keep you guys posted.
I sure hope it's true. I love to look at that thing, those flat things and the circular buttons. Everything about that looks awesome.
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm right there with you. Okay, let's talk about new Apple Pro XDR displays and new Apple displays. I know a lot of us really love Apple displays, and there's just nothing to pick from. I mean, there's the LG ultrafine display, and then that's pretty much it. There's the Pro XDR display if you want to spend $5,000. But what about the rest of us, right? Like for those of us that don't want to have a $5,000 display, and that's without the nano coating and without the stand. If you want the nano coating and the stand, it's $7,000. I did see that display in person at the Apple Store, and
Yeah.
it is beautiful. I mean, it's a work of art. It's technology and artistry melded together, unlike anything I've seen. And the picture quality is, as you would expect, it's totally bonkers. But $5,000 is not in the reach of most people. It's interesting though, isn't it? It kind of makes you think why Apple even made a display that expensive, because most people aren't ever going to buy it and have no need for it.
It's for pros.
It's for pros.
Right there in the name.
It's for actual pros. But maybe it's also to set a price point. It's like, wow. It's like building an F1 race car, right? You do it, even though you're not going to sell those cars, but then that technology trickles down into the rest of your product line, and maybe that's what we're going to see here. So the story goes like this. Apple is building smaller, more affordable alternatives to the Pro XDR display. Apple is currently building two smaller, more affordable alternatives to its 32-inch Pro XDR display, according to one leaker, Dylan DTK, who gets a lot of stuff right. The company is also said to be working on a new high-end display with a built-in A13 chipset. The new screens, which are currently using LG panels, are said to be in early development, and it's not clear when they might hit the market. Let's talk about, let's see here. Let's skip over this part because I just said this. The displays, which will reportedly offer the same specifications as the Pro XDR display, are said to be in testing in 24 and 27-inch options. However, Dylan says they're in early development for now, so these could change. And Dylan also says that the 27-inch version of the monitor, as well as the new 32-inch version of the monitor, will both offer ProMotion technology for a refresh rate up to 120 hertz, a first for an external Apple display. The 32-inch model is also expected to pack its own A13 chip and neural engine. Where's the part in here that I missed about the non-Pro versions? There was a non-Pro version, wasn't there?
What?
A non-Pro version? Did I miss that part?
No, I think it's just three and right. I mean, I don't know that there was any actual naming of any of this on there.
Okay, got it. So let's we got
same
them on
specifications.
I'm just seeing if I'm missing anything here. We got Dylan DTK, his tweets here.
Unravel that thread.
Oh, look at this. It's a thread, Lewis.
Wow. Is there some kind of icon that you could use to denote that?
Yeah,
it would be annoying.
I personally would use a little spool thread because it's a really clever way to. Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Wow.
Purple thread. It's a thread on Twitter. But but then if you write thread next to the thread, it's a little too much thread. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
double whammy is what it is.
It's too much thread. You got to just if you're gonna try to be clever with the thread, you got to just put the thread icon there, the emoji, and just leave it alone. You
I
know?
think the word you're looking for is redundant.
Yeah, it's from the Department of Redundancy Department. And if you're gonna be clever, you gotta let it hang and not try to explain it. It's like trying to explain a joke, right? You gotta just let it go. And if people don't get it, don't explain it. Just move on. You know? And it might not make sense. I can speak from personal experience. I'd say 25% of my jokes really just make no sense at all.
It can happen.
And if you think my jokes don't make sense, you guys should meet my dad. Holy moly. I think it's a family thing. And the older you get, the less your jokes make sense because all your cultural references have just, they've disintegrated because people don't get them anymore. And so,
you think this is nature or nurture?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. But I do think it's...
Most things are.
I do think it might be actually genetic. And by the time I'm 60 or 70, close to Leander's age, my jokes are not going to make any sense at all. I'll be trying to crack up the whippersnappers, and they're going to be like, doing a lot of what you do now, like courtesy laughing, but then you're kind of like confused, and you don't want to say that you're confused. Oh, boy. Speaking of confused, where are we? So there you go. It looks like Apple's working on some new Pro XDR displays for the rest of us that will be more affordable, hopefully, which will be cool because I would love to have an actual Apple display that doesn't cost $5,000. Yeah, Lewis, what's up?
Yeah, there's no pricing information in here. This is all pretty early on.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, they got to make them cheaper. I mean, obviously they're smaller, they'd be cheaper, but that whole price of the thing is so outlandish. What is it, $7,000 if you get the stand in the
plus tax?
I mean, $7,000.
I know.
You can get before you could get a nice used car for that, like a really nice used car.
No, not anymore. Not anymore, Lewis.
In the before times.
Oh, in the before times. Okay. I was gonna say, have you tried to buy a used car lately? It's just, it's so weird. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, like the price of used cars is just skyrocketed. Because of manufacturing problems and people unable to buy chips. I mean, the price of new cars I think has also gone up, but new cars are hard to get because they're not able to manufacture a lot of them, and so the prices of used cars have gone way up. And I was selling a car like a year ago, and it was so weird. I had dealerships calling me nonstop. Calling me nonstop, trying to buy my car from me, and this was kind of right when everything started happening. And ultimately, I sold my car for not nearly as much money as I could have if I would have just waited another 3 months. And then I was thinking, you know what? I should have sold my car. I'm gonna buy another one. And I went and looked, and I was like, dude, the price of cars is ridiculous. I can't buy I refuse to spend this much money on a used car for some like old used car, especially if you want something with 4-wheel drive or anything with the name Toyota attached to it. It's like if you want, I see people marketing their old used cars for $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 here in the U.S. I saw a lady selling her used 4Runner, a 4Runner, Toyota 4Runner from the 90s. She wanted $20,000 for that car.
Oh, my God.
Now it had low miles. I think it was like 60 or 80,000 miles or something. But, it was 20-something years old.
It's more than it cost at the time, probably, right?
It was probably similar.
Close to what it cost.
Probably similar. And who knows if she got it? I mean, she's speculating for sure. But, dude, I was like, you are out of your mind. Out of your mind. Okay. Let's see here. Where are we in the notes? Yeah, we covered the Pro XDR display. Got it. Okay. This is one of my favorite stories of the week. This is one of my favorite stories of the year, and it came in just for Christmas, and I have to thank Alexi Heath because he really is the gift that just keeps on giving. If you guys don't know who Alexi Heath, he was a member of this show for, I don't know, maybe like a year and a half, and I think he was 13 when he joined the cast. We didn't know that at the time. He lied to get in. But I got a story here. He recently went to The Verge because he's a traitorous person, and I really can't stand him for that, even though I deeply envy him. But before I move to the story and show you what Alexi Heath is up to, because this is one of my favorite things of the year, let's talk about the giveaway real fast, Lewis. you want to just mention it real quick? Because we're giving
Yeah,
away
we
some
talked
good
about this
stuff.
last week.
Yeah.
This is going on. You got a few more days to enter. Go to the homepage, scroll down to where it says "Win a Wacom in
Are you?
Wacom Wacom
It's
Wacom
whack. It's Wacom.
Wacom." Well, anyway, win a Wacom into oh my god, Intuos Pro Creative Pen Tablet. The big giveaway is when you see Cult of Mac giveaway. That's the thing you need to click on. Go in there, sign up for the giveaway. We're giving away one of these things. These go for $300. I don't know if you ever used a Wacom tablet, but they're great for like drawing and sketching and photo editing. I'm not much of a drawer, but they're good for photo editing too. So all kinds of stuff connected by Bluetooth or USB to your Mac or PC. So anyway, it's your chance. I think it ends December 19th.
I'm looking for the day right now. Okay, yeah.
So you got a couple of days left. Get in there.
3 days left. 3 days
enter
left.
as many times as you can, and good shot at winning some quality hardware from Wacom or Wacom or however in the world you pronounce it.
Here we go.
It's got to be Wacom.
I think it's Wacom.
Wacom.
Wacom Sock'em. So I posted the link in the chat, and I will also include it in the show notes. So there you go. And look, as I always say, you got a chance. Just go in there, enter to win. You might just win it because let's just say you got a chance. Let's just put it that way.
I feel like you're dissing our giveaway
No,
entries.
I'm just saying a lot of people, they never enter giveaways because they don't think that they have a chance of winning. And I'm just saying you have a chance. You got a chance.
Yeah, it's not like there's a million entries or anything.
Exactly. That's exactly. It's not like you're not going for the Powerball here.
It's like a niche.
Yeah.
Giveaway.
Yeah. All right. Before we move into Gear of the Year, I want to do this quick Alex E. Heath story. So, where is it? There we go. So a few of you actually reached out to me this week, and you're like, you said, like, did you see Alex E. Heath's new video? I was like, no, I haven't seen it. And they're like, they got him interviewing the cast of Matrix 4, and I was like, thank you, Lord, hallelujah. This is the gift that I needed. And I cruise into the story. There's a whole video, and it fills me with pride because Alex E. Heath, I've mentored him. I've spent countless hours mentoring him. He asked me to be his godfather. It got very weird. And but I spent a lot of time, and I was like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do with your life? Like after you leave the CultCast, this is a platform. We prep people to soar, right? You're going to leave here, and you'll be able to do whatever you want. And you really got to figure out what you want to do, right? Because you're going to have a lot of opportunities coming your way. And he really said, I want to be the Ryan Seacrest of The Verge. And I said, oh my gosh, now that's a vision. That is a vision. And you know what, guys? He made it. And I just couldn't be prouder. All the role playing we did, where I pretended to be Keanu, and he pretended to be himself in the future version of himself, and he would bounce questions. He'd be like, what kind of fruit do you like? And I'm like, no, dude, you got to think bigger than that. You got to come up with some really hard-hitting questions. So this has been a dream of his for years and years and years. And I looked at this interview, and there was a moment that came up in the interview, and I said, Alex E. Heath, tiny hands and all, he has reached his final form. Okay? He's reached his final form. It doesn't get any better.
Gestated.
He's been fully gestated. He's been birthed into the world. It's Alex E. Heath comes alive. And here it is right here. There's a moment. So he's in an interview with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss talking about the new Matrix movie. And he's trying to play it cool, which I can appreciate because he was probably extremely nervous to do this interview. After all, this has been a dream of his. He's the Ryan Seacrest of The Verge. We've practiced, we've role played. I've done everything I can to pour into him to set him up for this moment. And there's a brief moment where he lets the veil slip, and you can see he can't believe where he is. And honestly, in that moment, if Keanu had said, I want you to leave your family and come be my platonic manservant, I think Alex E. Heath would have gone. and here it is. This is the face of a man who's reached his final form. Here we go. There it is, right there. Lewis, you got to find someone.
Wow.
You got to
That is-
find someone who looks at you the way Alex E. Heath looks at Keanu Reeves. It's at moment 4 minutes and 1 second in the video, and it's not even the whole second. It passes in a moment. It's like a wind on the ocean. It's there and it's gone. You don't know where it came from. You don't know where it's going. But for a brief moment, Alex E. Heath, he let the coolness act slide, and he was just looking at. He was thinking about this. This is as good as it gets for me. This is as good as it gets for Alex E. Heath. Look at that face. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I doubt he's ever looked at his wife that way. I hope his wife doesn't listen.
With that what do you call that? The enlargement of his head. It looks. It's hilarious. It's like a bobblehead. Oh man, they're missing out if they don't make Alex E. Heath bobbleheads out of this. Actually,
they need to put. I mean, look, he did a great job in the interview too. So hats off to Alex. I love
very
you.
very pro. And I gotta say, I don't know if you ever did anything like this, but I mean, that situation he's in is not very comfortable.
No,
not
at all.
Because it's those two people sitting there, those big movie stars sitting there, opposite you in a room with cameras, and probably somebody holding a microphone over your head dangling, and there's a wall of publicists making sure that nobody says anything that isn't exactly what they want to be said. I mean I hate those kinds of situations. I haven't been in one in quite a long time, but it's not pleasant.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's hard because you're under the gun, man. You got to make content that's going to sell, and this video has gotten 1.7 million views. This literally might be the biggest thing Alex has ever done. It probably is, and it might be the biggest thing he ever does do. So, there's a lot of pressure to make.
I'm sure it's the first of many.
Oh,
first
of course. Yeah, definitely. You got to make conversation that's interesting, and you got to try to be natural, and you're dealing with two people that you don't know, and those movie stars are totally used to having conversations like this, and you got to you have to make it work, and he did it, man.
And this one had to be extra tough because Keanu Reeves is speaking in like bullet time. He's talking half speed, and then what's her name, Carrie-Anne Moss or whatever. She's normal speed. So you got to like deal with those two different speeds of speech.
That's a great point. Yeah, it's two different paradigms of speaking, and you have to ingest both at the same time. And
I was watching. I actually looked to see if I had accidentally hit a half speed button somewhere. Crazy.
You're right, because Keanu does speak in bullet time, doesn't he? It's like very slow and intense, and every thought is well thought out. So there you go, guys. Alex E. Heath has made it, and I just couldn't be more proud of him. After all that I've poured into him, it's a proud moment for me as well. And I just love seeing Alex happy, and that's the happiest he's probably ever been and probably will ever be. So, cheers to you, my friend. Cheers to you. Jason Autry says it's a face that's been stuck in Facebook hell. That's right. This is the face you make after reporting on Facebook and Snapchat for 5 years, and you're like, finally, I made it out. I never have to do that again. It's all Ryan Seacrest work from here, baby. He's gonna be hosting Dancing with the Stars here in no time. That's his next. Where else can he go? It's got to be that. Dancing with the Stars.
He lives in LA now too, right?
I think so. Yeah. I'm surprised he's wearing socks, too, because I know he gave that up to move to L.A. That was one of the prerequisites for moving there. And look, he's got some socks on. It's crazy. All right. Well, let's see here. That's your moment of zen for this episode. Let's move on to Gear of the Year. This is a segment where we talk about the things that we've been using over the course of the year that we really just love and think are worth talking about here again on the show. I've got a couple picks. I could do picks all day, Lewis, if I'm being honest.
I know.
So
you're, scary that way.
Like I don't even need to have you here. I could just do picks on my own. But I want you here. So don't get me wrong. But do you have something that you want to lead with here, Lewis?
Your choice.
Gear of the Year?
You got multiple things. You want to bookend it?
Okay. Do you only have one thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go first. No. I'll go first. You go next. I'll go last. We'll bookend it. We'll do what Alex Heath was imagining himself doing with Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss during that interview. He just wants to be in a Matrix sandwich.
Oh my god!
That's what he's
extra mayo.
That's what he's thinking here. please let me be in the middle of this Matrix sandwich. He wants to dress in that leather outfit that Mouse was wearing in the first Matrix before he got blown away. Oh my gosh. Let me be on your ship, Neo. I want to be on the Nebuchadnezzar with you, Neo. Oh my goodness. All right. The jokes will never end on that. That's one of my favorite things I've seen. Okay. Take it away, Lewis. And while you're talking, I will pull this up
It's
on
hilarious.
the web.
Because just a second ago you said you were going to go first.
Oh, that's right. It's gonna be
and you
me.
just
No,
you're
no,
doing
no,
so
no, no,
many
no.
things at one time. You're like juggling.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So
I'm happy to go first.
No,
if
no, no.
It'll make things easier
no,
for you.
No, I actually want to go first so that we can put you in the Matrix sandwich here. So the thing that I want to talk about first is most certainly one of the best things that I've reviewed all year. I got a ton of use out of it. It was really fun, and that is the Rad Bikes Power Wagon 4. I've talked about this before, right? I'm trying to pull it up in real time as you're.
Power.
I'm sorry, the Rad Wagon 4. I misspoke. It's the Rad Power Bikes Rad Wagon 4, and here we go. Here it is. It is a cargo bike, and it has all sorts of utility built into it. It has this really great back rack that you can use for. I know, listen to those.
I'm not that familiar with the back rack.
I don't believe that for a moment, Lewis. I don't believe that for a moment. I mean, this might be Lewis's favorite bike too, just for that reason. So
This
it's
thing
got
looks awesome.
Yeah, it's got a great platform on the back. Platform, Lewis, platform. You can store baskets back there, so you can park your belongings in the back.
Can it take a hill? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah. This thing is it's like a Cadillac, man. It's like a 50s Cadillac. It's got so much power. It's stable as heck. It just glides gracefully everywhere you go. You can put baskets on the front and the back, or what you can do is put child seats on the back, which is what I did. It fits up to 2, or you can put one child seat and then one padded seat so that you can have like a toddler and like a baby on your bike at the same time, and then you can just cruise all around. It's really comfortable. You kind of sit in an upright position, and it's got lots of power. You can probably go, I don't know, let's see here. I'm trying to see if it has an official mileage rating here. I think it's like up to 40 miles. Okay, it says up to 45 miles per charge. That's probably true if you live in a really flat area. It's less in Seattle because we have a lot of hills. It's like mini San Francisco over here. It's got a 350-pound payload capacity. And yeah, it's just a dream to ride. This bike is like a Swiss Army knife. You can just deck it out with so much rad gear to fit your lifestyle. And I've been taking my kids on long bike rides, and they love it because they're not old enough to ride long distances by themselves. But on the back of the bike, they can just sit there and enjoy the ride, and they're just laughing, having a great time. So it's created a lot of special moments with me and my kids, and it's really useful. So we only have one car now, and this is like our second car. Like if I ever need to go anywhere and I don't have a car available, I just take this. Because with one person, you can cruise around on this thing, and it can handle
scooter,
way more.
Right? I mean,
it's battery powered. I should have mentioned this. It's a
Yeah.
battery powered bike.
bicycle.
Yeah.
So do
So
you
for those of
find
you listening.
yourself pedaling very often, or you just like screw it? Just
Oh yeah. I pedal all the time. So the way
Okay.
a lot of these bikes work is so this has a throttle, so you can use it without pedaling if you want. But the throttle, I don't really find it to be powerful enough to take you everywhere. Where this thing really shines is in power assist. So it amplifies the power of your steps. So every time you pedal, it will add battery power to that, and so you're able to pedal much easier. So you're going up hills, you're screaming up hills with very little effort. You're going down the path with very little effort. So you're pedaling, but it adds that extra electricity to drive the motors.
and you don't have to use the throttle for that. Is it automatically power?
It
assist,
automatically
or?
does that. Yeah. So
Oh,
it has a
really?
cadence
Interesting.
sensor. So as soon as you start
Oh.
pedaling, the power just kicks on. It's not the most elegant cadence sensor. I've ridden bikes that are much more granular in their cadence sensors. Like this one, I think it has like maybe, I don't know, a few levels of cadence. So you have to move your feet a certain amount before it realizes that you're pedaling, and then it kicks on. And with other bikes, it kicks on at much lower levels and then builds up. But this bike, it kicks on at like a pretty high level as soon as you start pedaling. So that's one of the things I don't love about it, but it doesn't really. It's not a deal breaker for me. You know, it's not a racing bike. So I think these things are like. Let's see, how much are they? So they're $1,900. I think the price may have just actually gone up because of
Like everything else.
Yeah, like everything else. I got the black one, which looks really classic and elegant. They make them in orange and white as well, but I find that the bike like hides, like scrapes and stuff when you get the black. Beautiful bike, super useful. They ship them all over the country, and
And it's got disc brakes. And
oh yeah,
what is that? Like a little plexiglass shield back there in the back, so you don't.
yeah, get your
kids' feet don't get stuck in the back wheel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
So one of my favorite things of the year, the
Looks
Rad
cool.
Wagon 4 from Rad Power Bikes. Sending it over to you, Lewis. What do you got for us?
Well, you're talking about how fun that was, right?
Yeah.
Well, this product of the year is not fun at all.
Yeah.
But I think it's Apple's most underrated product of 2021, AirTags.
Oh, you're the guy that likes AirTags.
The one person.
I kid. I know that people use them, but they just didn't end up being the sensation that we all thought they might be.
Well, they're like insurance policies, right?
Yeah.
And nobody's excited about buying an insurance policy. Insurance policy it's the opposite of fun. It's something you pay for and you hope to God you never use it, right? That's what AirTags are.
Yep.
And I don't have a whole bunch of them. I got like 4, right? I've got one in my keychain. I don't know if you can see that, but
yeah, I was going to ask you where you're using them. Oh, that's a nice little case.
This
is that
is
from
a
the Cultimax store?
No, this is not. This is from Waterfield Designs.
Okay.
It's
they make your favorite
AirTag leather
iPhone cases too, don't they?
They make Waterfield. No, they make backpacks and stuff.
Okay.
Really excellent bags, backpacks, suitcases, not suitcases. What are they called? Complete.
You mean like an airline bag, like one of those rolling suitcases?
No, they make all kinds of like duffel bags, and I've got one that's like what do you call this? It's a briefcase.
Okay.
Gee whiz.
Well, it's been a while since anyone's used that word.
It's been a while since it's not a word that anybody ever uses. It's a laptop bag, right?
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. They used to call them briefcases back in the 70s. But this is a nice leather AirTag keychain that's from Waterfield Designs anyway. But so I don't actually lose my car keys anymore because I got a hook on the wall. They're either in my coat pocket or on that hook every time. I haven't lost them since the pandemic started. And I haven't done very much air travel. I've got one on my suitcase, which I know it would be really handy if I ever needed it, but I haven't had it. But so, okay, what good are they, right? Here's where it actually did. It did not actually work for me. I did not have to have this, but it was like, oh, that's how they work. I went to a darts tournament. I have a backpack. I just tossed one in there, right? It's my darts bag.
Yeah.
And I dumped my stuff off, and I'm like, I got to go move my truck because I'm parked in a place where it's going to be street cleaning, right? Which is perfect. Thanks, San Francisco. Got to move your truck every 2 hours. Well, I go walk into the truck, and I get this alert. Darts bag has been left. It's out of your. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, no, that is useful.
That is exactly what they're great for.
Yeah.
And if I had for some reason actually left without my dart bag, I would have been thrilled to get that little alert, and I would have turned right around and gone back and got it. So it's hard to sing the praises of something that's such a utilitarian thing like that, right? I mean, it's not fun. It's not exciting. It's not jazzy. Nobody goes, oh yeah, watch this video on my brand new iPhone. It's so amazing. No, it's like, oh, I didn't lose my car keys. I didn't lose my darts bag.
That's pretty useful though.
It's useful.
It sounds like it solved a pretty pervasive problem for you.
Well, again, it's not been. I've been lucky enough that I haven't lost any of these things.
Yeah.
Right. But I can tell you that they actually do work, and that if I was to, when I think it'll be really handy is when I go to like a darts tournament and I'm walking around and I leave my bag, and I can't find out where it is. Some of these dark stores
Yeah.
are giant, right? So you're like searching around. You can't remember every table looks exactly the same, and you've left under one of them. And then you can just like bring up the Find My app and go look for it, right? Or if you leave the premises without your bag, which again, hopefully that never happens. But I'll tell you one thing. I had a coat. Those darn accordions had a gig. Played a gig in Reno. Didn't have my car keys in my pocket. Lost the coat. Never found it. And I was like, man, if I just had my keys in my pocket, I'd be able to find it. Now it might have been in, the backseat of some, meth head's truck or something. But
Then you
I'd
go
have been
get
I'd
him,
at least
hunt him
been able
down.
to watch it, travel around the city of Reno. So I think they're a pretty great product. I mean, I'm not super excited about how thick they are. That's the only thing I don't
Yeah,
like
they are.
about them. They're a little bit thick, and that's like with these Waterfield Designs thing. I mean, it's a pretty big key fob, right? And it's got to be kind of big to fit it in. And that's why the thing I like about the Waterfield Designs ones, you can't tell that there's an AirPod in there, right? Or AirTag in there.
Yeah.
A lot of the other ones, like the ones Apple makes, a lot of ones we have in the CultCast store, they show off the AirTag, which is okay for keychains, I guess, because whatever. But like on your bag or something like that, like if you put it in, I think they're great to just hide them in like your computer bag or your darts bag or anything like that. And people can't then they don't see it and go, oh, I'm going to snip that off or take it off immediately, right? It's hidden. Although I suppose they'll get a thing like there's an AirTag following you around, right? That's the other. They're so good that they're like they actually announce themselves to
which is a
would-be
problem.
robbers.
It's like that was one of the things I didn't like about the AirTags is like if they're following someone around, then let's say someone steals your car and you have an AirTag hidden in your car, and then they get an alert, there's an AirTag following you. Oh, well, now I know that I need to go ditch it. It's like that's the whole purpose of having a bug. I guess it just it goes to show that Apple designed them for you to find things that you've lost and not find things that have been stolen. Like clearly there's a difference, right? Because if it's been stolen, you don't want those people to know that they're being tracked.
Right, but if they're getting a thing that says, "Hey, there's an AirTag that's traveling with you," then you're also getting one that says, "Hey, your item is not with you," right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've gotten them because I every now and then I get one like that says, "Oh, this AirTag is traveling." There was something like my wife's was not properly logged in or whatever, like it didn't, but it's like, oh yeah, well yeah, of course it's traveling with me because it's my wife and she's in my truck. But I don't know, I think they're pretty cool. There's still car thieves have been finding ways to use them. I don't know if you read those stories, but
I have.
that's kind of exciting. But I think it's a good product. I hope that they don't just decide that it's not a big enough market for them like they did with HomePods.
I hope that they keep it around too, because you're right, it's really useful. The one thing I was thinking though that when you have the AirTag, it should change the name of the Find My app to Find My Murderer.
Jeez.
Because if they steal something and then you try to go reclaim it, guess what's happening next? You're gonna get yourself in a predicament that you may not have expected. So you got to be careful about that. But that's the thing that they're really super useful for, is like you put them in your computer bag, you put them in your car, you're trying to be covert, and then someone steals it, and you can actually go find them. I mean, think how useful that is. Now, if you live in a city like Seattle or San Francisco, that won't help you because the police don't care about your problems. But if you live in a city where the police actually will help you find stuff and recover it, or you're famous, then this might actually be really super useful. I haven't got any of these yet. They've been going on sale like crazy.
Really?
I've been seeing 3 packs for like I think $80.
4 packs.
4 packs for $80.
I think
that's the lowest price that I've seen.
Yeah, I think they cost $100, right? Normal price.
Yeah.
And they just this week Apple released an Android app now, so that prior to that, the only people that could get those alerts were iPhone owners, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now there's an Android app, so I don't know. If you got Android, download the app for free, and then you'll know if an AirTag is following you around.
All right. Well, let's send it back to me, Lewis, for my final pick.
Back to you.
Back to me, and I'll talk a little bit about my TV that I bought, since some of you have been asking. I bought a new TV, 4K TV, after years and years of saying I was going to do it. I finally got an OLED. Well, I finally got a 4K TV, and it is also an OLED, because I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to go OLED, because there are some good LCD televisions out there, LED televisions out there. It was kind of a decision between this and the Samsung QN90A. That was the one that I was deciding against, because that TV, well, I won't talk about that one right now because I could do a whole half hour on the differences between the two TVs, but I ultimately decided to go OLED, and everyone was like, this is the best TV to get, and I went and saw it in person, and when I saw it in person at the store where I was ultimately gonna purchase it, I was like, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good as I was hoping it was going to. And it's hard to make a decision by seeing a TV in a store. I feel like you really got to take it home and run a bunch of content through it. And I got to say, after using this TV for probably about 4 to 6 weeks is how long I've had it. And I purchased it with my own money, by the way. I've definitely fallen in love with it. I mean, the picture quality is beautiful. This is a precision machine. It is like a scalpel. And I think the thing that I didn't like about it is it doesn't create like Samsung TVs are built to provide you a beautiful picture no matter what content is coming through, which is one of the reasons why the Samsung TVs don't support like Dolby Vision and the LGs do. The Samsung wants to give you a beautiful image no matter what you watch, and the LG is much more of a scalpel. It's going to show you what's there, and if what's there isn't beautiful, then your picture quality is not going to be beautiful. I mean, I've seen content with really wacky color issues where I thought it was a problem with the TV, and it's like, nope, the content just didn't have very good colors built in. But if you get an image that is beautiful, that is colored well, that is 4K, this thing just blows it out of the park. It literally is. It's like one of the most realistic windows to the outer world I've ever seen. And when those 4K aerial screensavers come on from the new Apple TV 4K, wow. They are so beautiful and detailed, especially the cityscape ones where you have the drone flying over the city. And the thing about this TV is, because it's an OLED, it has perfect blacks, right? Because it can completely shut off the pixel if it's not being used. But then it also gets pretty bright. I mean, bright enough where it hurts my eyes in scenarios where you need a lot of brightness. Now, it doesn't get as bright as a Samsung does because the Samsung has backlight, and so it can get much brighter. But I feel like the OLED gets bright enough, at least the C1 does, the LG C1, which is what I got, 65-inch, by the way. And so you get like these really beautiful specular highlights. So if you're in a dark scene, but you have like a starscape going on, you get these really bright, beautiful, flickering stars that you just wouldn't be able to get with other kinds of televisions, older OLEDs especially. And even the new Samsung televisions don't show specular highlights as well as this TV does, because it's trying not to blow out the blacks because it has a backlight. So it has to bring down the total luminance so that your blacks aren't too bright. I don't really care about perfect blacks, but this has it. And then it also has the really beautiful specular highlights. And if you get newer 4K content, it just looks so beautiful. Like the image looks gorgeous. Sorry for using that word. That word should be retired. No one uses that word anymore. But it's true. And then you get like the really wonderful blend of blacks and specular highlights. And if you get a good image quality, this thing has one of the most beautiful pictures that I've seen. It also upscales 1080 content very well if you have a pretty decent 1080p picture. And in fact, in some scenarios, I feel like the 1080p picture looks even better. There's something about 4K in a lot of instances that looks too real to me. And if you don't have good CGI in a movie, this, especially if the movie is 1080p and the television is upscaling to 4K, it is so obvious. I was watching like The Hobbit in 1080p. Those movies are 20 years old now, you know? And some of the CGI scenes and some of the CGI that happens in those movies, it looks so obviously fake because this TV shows you every detail so accurately that you can just tell it's an actor standing against a green screen, and it kind of pulls you out of, the suspense of disbelief. And that's one of my biggest things I don't like about 4K currently is like the older content looks really bad oftentimes on this TV because this TV is so precise, it doesn't hide anything. Whereas 1080p TVs hide a lot because they just don't have a lot of detail. This TV doesn't do that. So if you have a bad picture or you have something that's really old with bad CGI, then this is going to make it obvious that it's bad CGI. And you see everyone's like wrinkles and everything. Like sometimes like when you see an actor in a movie and you can see them up close and you can see like every wrinkle and hair and everything on their face, it's like, whoa, this is a little too real for me. It kind of pulls me out of the movie a little bit. And actually that happened with the new Dune as well. So like the new Dune was streaming on HBO Max and I watched it. And there were a few scenes that were just too real. And you could tell that they were actors. You could tell it was CGI. And that's actually a problem for 4K, not necessarily just this TV, is that it's so hyper real that it actually, you can tell that it's fake. Whereas 1080p, it's more forgiving. It creates a dreamier effect and special effects kind of get blurred away and you can't really tell what's real and what's not. And with 4K, you often can't do that. The one last thing I'll mention is one of the things that people love about this TV is it's built for gamers as well. It has four HDMI 2.1 ports, so you can plug in a new PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and have those consoles have all their features work on this TV, and you get the maximum frame rates and everything, like variable refresh rates and 120 hertz per second. So there is a lot of really cool video game technology built in, and these TVs are coming down in price fast. Like I think this TV was like probably like $2,800 when it launched. I got mine for $1,500. $1,500. And all the best deals are kind of over now since it's almost the end of the year. The best time to buy one is late October and then all November pretty much. And then maybe parts of December. You might still see deals pop up every now and again, but it's cool, man, being back in the TV game. I love TVs, and the fact that I waited so long is kind of a testament to like the great TV I bought before, the Pioneer Kuro. It was like cutting edge Japanese technology at the time, and it was a 50-inch plasma. I still have it actually. I'm going to bring it up to the Cult Command Center and use it for video games. And it's 1080p, but that TV was like the Samsung in that no matter what you watched in it, it created one of the most beautiful images that existed. And that's still true. It's that the Pioneer Kuro, it still has one of the most, if not the most beautiful 1080p picture that I've seen. It just creates beautiful images no matter what you pipe into it. And it's 12 years old, man. It's a 12-year-old TV. People always used to clown on me because I would do videos on YouTube showing the TV, and it's like, 5 inches thick, and everyone would always make fun of me. But you know what? That TV was a masterpiece, and it still beats a lot of TVs even today.
It's the beauty of plasma.
It's the beauty of... God, you are a slogan machine, Lewis. You're a slogan machine. You should have been working for Apple. Think of what you could have done under Katie Cotton. But she was on PR, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have not returned phone calls.
Yeah, you would have gotten chewed up and spit out, man, because she was a real whip cracker. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. We've gone for like, how long have we been live? 16 hours now.
What day is it now?
I spent a good 45 minutes just talking about Alex E. Heath making googly eyes at Keanu Reeves, eyes glossed over. Let's go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. If you want to come tell us about your favorite tech or movies, so we'd love to hear from you. I'm at Airfon, E-R-F-O-N. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace on Twitter, of course. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you can hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening. Everyone say a prayer for dear Leander Caney. And we'll see you guys next time. Hopefully with LK, if he's still among us. Look, I'm rooting for him, Lewis. You keep giving me that look like I want him to croak. I don't. I'm just saying, let's be realistic. He might be a goner.
He's on jury duty, too. He should just call him up and say, yeah, I'm really ill, and I think if I walk in there, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure they haven't heard that one before. That's actually probably why he's not on the show. He's supposed to be on jury duty. And so this whole thing was
dodge,
it's
an elaborate ruse.
He's like, I can't tell him I'm sick and then show up live on YouTube to hundreds of thousands of people. So I gotta keep it quiet. You figured it out. Maybe he does have the intelligence of Morty from Rick and Morty. All right, all.
Looking at that Alex E. Heath screenshot.
Everyone have a great weekend. I'm hovering towards the end stream button as we speak. I'm going slowly because I don't really have anything else to say. I've got about 10 seconds of music left. Here we go, guys. That's it. Bye, y'all.